Well, he served as prime minister for a total of 15 years, as recently as 2021, and this Thursday he'll be back in the position he's so familiar with. Benjamin Netanyahu will be presenting his new government to the Knesset after winning the fifth election in 4 years, one expected to be the most right-wing in the country's history. Its makeup and statement of policy priorities are already raising concerns for the fate of civil liberties, rankling Israel's closest allies, and escalating tensions with the Palestinians. Well, Netanyahu gave a speech to the Knesset this Thursday morning before the presentation of his government. Well, for more on this, let's speak to our correspondent in Jerusalem, Iris Mockler. Iris, we've seen some pretty rowdy scenes at the Knesset during his speech. What did he say?
Yes, pretty rowdy is right. He was interrupted by catcalls. Opposition politicians from the outgoing government were removed from the parliament, and he told them that losing wasn't the end of democracy, it was the essence of democracy, citing the French reaction when it lost the World Cup. You still cheered, he said, but he seems to have forgotten, of course, that he didn't recognise the outgoing government or then incoming government when he lost some 18 months ago. So once all that was out of the way, he did speak about his main foreign policy interests. His foreign policy achievements are always very dear to him, and that was the tackling of the Iranian threat. That was top of his priority, the first thing he mentioned. And he also said he was setting the sights for the next 25 years. Perhaps that's how long he plans to remain in power.
The government he's expected to present is advertised, as we said, as the most right-wing in the country's history. So what does that mean exactly? What can we expect? And just one last piece of information that came in recently. A new foreign minister has already been announced, Eli Cohen, formerly an intelligence minister.
Yes, well, that is very new news because it wasn't known going in. Benjamin Netanyahu has been doling out the last cabinet ministerships right up to, as we can see, right up past his announcement, past his speech. So what we are going to see, what we are seeing is a very religious government. It's not just that it's right-wing. Netanyahu heads a right-wing party, but it's a liberal right-wing party with some religious elements within it. Now it's equal numbers with religious and ultra-right nationalists in this new government. And what the coalition agreements indicate is that the priority that they all share is overturning the current judicial system, giving a greater priority to the parliament, just one seated parliament, by the way, over the courts. There's been a lot of disturbance here among civil liberties groups about that, and every different partner in this new government has their own wish list of things they wish to overturn, and don't let the court interfere with that. That's one very big plank of democracy that might be challenged here, and if the indications are right, will be challenged very early. That's one thing. There are other elements, including strengthening the hold in the West Bank, increasing the number of settlements, expanding Israeli authority in the West Bank, expanding the politicians' control over the police. We just heard this morning they also plan to shut down the national public broadcaster. So it's a very right-wing, very radical agenda, and that's what we're seeing being promised now.
Iris Mockler, thank you very much for those insights and for the latest on that historic day in Israel.